All right, so I am going to take a swing at a Cleveland Browns mock draft. Now, this is technically for the $100 giveaway that we're doing on the Facebook group, but nobody did a Cleveland Browns mock draft, probably because they don't have a first-round pick. As you can see, here are the picks. Everybody just wants to play around in the first round. So the Cleveland Browns get no love. I did the Carolina Panthers as well. And again, relatively unfamiliar with the team. Kind of surprised with how good a lot of these guys are. Just baseline 70s pretty much across the board. Obviously, Myles Garrett's there. Amari Cooper's there. Got a lot of guys that are free agents, though. Lots and lots and lots. And also the offensive line makes me nervous because we got a lot of older guys, right? You got Jedrick Wills is young, but he's in the final year of his deal, not very good. Geron Christian is a free agent. Joel Bitonio is 33 years old. Ethan Posick is 29 years old. Wyatt Teller is 30 years old. And Jack Conklin is 30 years old. So we've got, a lot of these guys are locked up for a little bit of a while yet. But 2026, I think, for Conklin, 2025 for Teller. But still, we got to start thinking about it. I know we got guys like DeJuan Jones kind of waiting in the wings, but I'm just saying if it's sitting there, it's something to consider. Wide receiver also. Amari Cooper's in the final year of his deal at 30 years old. Moore, as you can see there, is not great and is in the final year of his deal. I suppose we'd probably pay him, but, at what cost? Goodwin, Grant, free agents. On the defensive side, interior is kind of my biggest concern. Dalvin Tomlinson took a little bit of a step back, as you can see, this past year, and he is 30 years old, so that's not great. Shelby Harris, Jordan Elliott, and Maurice Hurst, all free agents. Siaki Ika is kind of just bad. At the edge positions, Darius, he is 31 years old and is currently a free agent. So we have Myles Garrett and Ogbania Okoronkwo, and I don't know. We don't have a huge pile. Not my biggest concern, but it's a concern. Linebacker, we just got to pay a bunch of guys because everybody's a free agent, and even JOK is in the final year of his deal. Anthony Walker, Sion Takitaki, Matthew Adams, Jordan Kunizik, and Jacob Phillips, all free agents. So I don't know, man. We gotta make some tough decisions. Corner, we're doing okay. We got Greg Newsome and Denzel Ward. Newsome's in the final year of his deal. He'll get paid. And then at safety, we got Juan Thornhill and Grant Delpit, who are a pretty solid duo. And they're going to be locked up, at least for a tiny bit of a while. Juan Thornhill might be in the final year of his deal. We'll see, but we still got Grant Delpit. So if the mood strikes, it's something to consider, but I think we got other concerns. So with that, why don't we go ahead and get started and see how this falls? This is my first Cleveland Browns mock draft of this season, so if there are any Browns fans hanging out, let me know your thoughts. Also, Deshaun Watson. I was kind of contemplating. Obviously, we invested in him, but he's 29. He can give you another solid 6-7 years or whatever if he kind of snaps out of his little funk here. I know he's been injured a lot lately, but we just haven't seen that magic that we saw with the Houston Texans. And looks like he's only signed through 2026. So I don't know at what point we start to look at an exit strategy. But anyways, here we sit, obviously not interested in Tyler Nubin. Peyton Wilson could potentially be an option if we decide we're not paying all these guys. We got Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah and nobody. That would be something to consider, especially since we need them. But again, I think we're just going to pay a bunch of these guys to stick around. I am a little bit more interested in a guy like, for example, Braden Fisk. Again, Elliott Hurst and Shelby Harris, all free agents. Tomlinson's 30 years old. We just don't have anybody right now. So with him sitting as the third best option, I think I'm just going to go ahead and take Braden Fisk. All right, we got Braden Fisk locked up for now. That'll give us a little bit. Hopefully he's an instant starter because we're probably going to need it. We don't pick again until 85, and then after that, not until 135. It's going to be kind of a rough draft, but we'll do what we can do. I didn't talk about running back. Kareem Hunt is a free agent. Nick Chubb's in the final year of his deal. He's 29 years old. That might be a need at some point, but again, we don't have a lot of swings, and I think we got some other needs. Again, I got linebacker looking at me in the face. I got running back, safety, running back. Interior offensive line is interesting. I know it probably wouldn't be a super popular pick, but again, I can't help but think, I mean, who do we have waiting in the wings? Luke Whippler from, I think, Ohio State. I liked him coming out of college, but I mean, is that it to replace Joel Bitonio, Ethan Posick, and Wyatt Teller? I don't know. It's not my favorite situation to be in. Man, linebacker's looking kind of interesting. Again, we've got to do something there. I know we got Walker's 29, Taki's 29. Let's just do it. Let's just grab the top linebacker here. I'm not going to, I'll just stick to the board that we have for now instead of looking at which linebacker I might prefer. But we're going to go Junior Colson here. Again, I wasn't thinking that was maybe our biggest need, but just as I look at it, certainly something to consider. I would like to, again, the offense, wide receiver, offensive line at some point, but we might just have to dabble as we go along and see. I don't like it because once we start getting into the 100s, 200s, you just feel like, man, are we even going to get a good player here? And you start looking at maybe more depth. That's where you theoretically I'd be looking at, edge rusher or something, which isn't a massive need, but for depth or whatever the case may be, like Gabriel Murphy or whatever. I wouldn't mind another defensive tackle. We do have Javon Baker sitting here, which would be an option. Tight end, we got Njoku. That's about it. So, but, I'm not absolutely worried about tight end depth at this point. Again, some interior offensive line options, but I kind of am leaning toward Javon Baker just to make sure we at least cross that off our list to make sure that we get a wide receiver. Again, Amari Cooper is a fantastic football player. I don't know if he's going to be with the team beyond this year. For all I know, they're looking to move him or something. I don't know the inner workings of Cleveland, but I'm assuming he's staying this year, and I think it's going to be pretty dicey that he'll be able to play beyond that. And again, I'm not looking at a whole lot of superstars after that. All right. Again, I would not mind another defensive tackle. I don't know if we're planning on keeping Shelby Harris, but he's 33. Again, Jordan Elliott maybe would be a good one to make sure he locks up. Even Maurice Hurst, if it's a year or two, just to make sure we've got some bodies on top of already drafting Braden Fisk. We might be okay there. Linebacker we did touch on at least once. We got our wide receiver. Again, I'm looking at interior offensive line. Wouldn't mind another linebacker. Again, if I had a better picture of who's coming back and who's leaving, if all these free agents leave, we need another linebacker desperately. But I'm going to lean toward we're going to have to re-sign some of those guys, and I need to touch offensive line. I just have to. So I'm gonna go ahead here, and this is just going to be looking into the future. Eventually, we're going to be losing Bitonio, Posick, Wyatt Teller, and we're going to need some answers. So. Are we already up? No, we're not. We're at 205. Nobody's coming off the board. There we go. And again, even tackle wouldn't be the worst thing necessarily. Jedrick Wills, he's only 25, but I mean, just what are we getting from him? I mean, basically nothing. But it's getting a little late to find a starting tackle. Another wide receiver wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Again, another interior guy wouldn't kill me. I honestly wouldn't mind Jordan Travis with Joe Flacco heading out the door. We got Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I don't know if that's maybe a popular option among fans. I know he kind of flashed a little bit for a while there. I don't know if that's still a thing. Tip Riemann, I know, had a really good combine. All right, I think we're going to have to double up somewhere. It's either wide receiver, interior. I do wonder about Jordan Travis, but I don't know. I think because it's more immediate, let's just go ahead and grab a wide receiver. I'll stick to our board again. Ainias Smith is an option, but I'll go with Mr. Jordan Whittington. B+. Come on, man. All right, 208, we're back up. I'm still presented with the same options. I mean, edge is still sitting here as well as looking at some potential depth. I might do that. I think I'm going to do that, actually. I'm going to go with an edge rusher. Yeah, I think so. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything major. I mean, obviously I am. There's a lot of things. I mean, again, we could go tight end depth. We could certainly look at a quarterback. Running back, I don't think would be the end of the world. I don't think I want a third wide receiver at this point. Another linebacker, I think, could be a decent option. Joe Milton's sitting here. I wonder if I should just do it. I don't know. Another linebacker. Tight end. Brevin Spann-Ford. Could do a tight end. I mean, we've got Jordan Atkins in the final year. He's 32. Harrison Bryant's a free agent. If we don't bring him back, we got David Njoku, who's 28, and that's it. I don't mind going tight end here. I think I'm going to. Let's just do a tight end. All right. Well, that's it. That's all I got. That's the Cleveland Browns mock draft. Again, Cleveland Brown fans, let me know what you think. We got a little bit of help on the defense with Braden Fisk, Junior Colson. Here we go. Nelson Caesar to be some edge depth there. And then on the offense, we got Javon Baker at wide receiver, Jordan Whittington at wide receiver, tight end Brevin Spann-Ford, and a little bit of future depth for now, and hopefully a future starter in Satoa Lamea. So, anyways, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like it if you like it, leave a comment, let me know what I did right, what I did wrong, so I can learn a little bit more about the Cleveland Browns, and I will catch you